So here's the next part. Rachel Nichols. Rachel Nichols. Everybody familiar with what's going on with Rachel Nichols? Can you pull up?
Shit.
All right. So Rachel Nichols was on. Apparently, she was on a Zoom call, but forgot to like leave the room.
This happened like late last year or
In
something.
the bubble.
In the bubble. So this is
Oh, Rachel Nichols, the interviewer for the NBA.
Yeah. But so she
interviewed Jimmy Butler about leaving the 76ers.
She did.
Yeah.
Okay. She's an NBA reporter for ESPN. Jake, can you pull up the Rachel Nichols story?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have it here. It's so this is from Forbes, and it said she, longtime ESPN reporter Rachel Nichols will not be on the sidelines for this year's NBA Finals. According to multiple reports, after saying on a leaked recording she'll leave, a black colleague got a promotion over her as a diversity measure. That's all it has on that.
That is the gist. So basically,
like a digital open mic,
she was having a private conversation, and
there was two like a cloud that's basically everything that she's recording. Basically, so a bunch of people.
She forgot to leave the room on Zoom.
Oh, I see.
And so people were still listening.
She made the comments while speaking to LeBron James' advisor, Adam Mendelson. Who encouraged her to push back against the company's decision.
What did she say?
Now, do you think that there's any...
So she basically said that Maria Taylor shouldn't be the finals reporter because that's her job. And she said, I understand that ESPN is trying to correct their public-facing image because they have such a terrible reputation with diversity, but don't do that shit at my expense. Take that shit somewhere else. That's basically what she said.
I don't think that's that bad.
So
it could be way worse. It could be way worse.
Go on.
How accurate do you think that is? Like
what? Well, tell me what you think first.
Yeah. I don't think that's that bad for her to say. I feel like she was being honest, but I mean,
do you think she's accurate? I'm sorry.
Do I think she's accurate?
Is that why you're kind of saying you're like, well, kind of, or what?
No, I know what she means.
She would still feel like that because she's been.
She feels like that because it's like a whole movement to where, like, people like we want black coaches. We want more black people in these positions in these high positions. Mm-hmm. So I could see why.
The culture wants to will the existence. It's not like just like coaches are just like, okay, here's a gay like just. Here you go, like as a token.
Yeah,
thing.
But if she feel like she's doing her job
okay.
perfectly, then she feels like there's no need to, to replace her. Like she feel like she's doing her thing. So, yeah, I see where she's coming from. I thought she said something like some Donald Sterling type stuff.
It wasn't Donald Sterling.
She good, really.
They did have a joke. There was some joke. I forget what they said towards the end. That was a little like kind of strange about. That alluded to Black Lives Matter or something like. And I feel like
she said it's been a little much with like Black Lives Matter and Me Too movement. And she was talking about how she's like exhausted.
Oh yeah, you're exhausted. Oh, so you're exhausted. But I don't know. It was something like that. I was like, oh, okay. Sorry, it's so exhausting for you.
I mean, to be fair, those things are probably exhausting. Now, I'm not saying that is the worst part of those situations. Yeah. And I also think that the point of a protest or anything that is like public facing and like for social change needs to be exhausting.
Yeah.
In order to do anything that is effective.
But is it the most exhausting to her out of anybody else? That
I don't think that's what she said.
I know. But okay.
But I will say that sometimes we say insensitive things when we are having private conversations. Okay. Kanye West has a line where he said, "I'm on TV talking like it's just you and me, or me and you." One of those.
Nah, he said that. You right. He was like, I'm on TV talking like it's just you and me. That's what he said. Yeah.
So.
He does talk like that. It doesn't help him any,
but basically,
it does though.
But basically,
because you're kind of like, I guess. He's
but what you can take about.
I guess, or is he doing that? I don't know.
Man, churches don't pay taxes. Anyway,
church.
So I feel two ways about this. On one end, I believe that tough titty white lady, shut up. On the other end, I feel like she's right. And let me explain both sides. On the tough titty white lady part, ESPN just started hiring black people, and they fire all the black people that talk too much shit. Well, so, shut up. You have your own fucking show that's on every day. You're a sideline reporter. Everybody knows who Rachel Nichols is. You're already a big deal. You can't let somebody else do this shit. And it's not even like she's some untalented reporter. She's good at her job. She covers basketball and football for ESPN. She's a good on-air personality. She does all of the things. You're not going to hold this job down forever. If Doris Burke isn't complaining, then shut the fuck up. If Jackie McMullen isn't complaining, then shut the fuck up. But on the other end, I think it's probably really hard to be a woman working in sports media. Because you notice how, like, in sports media, they'll usually just make the woman the moderator on a show with two dudes yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Rachel Nichols actually has her own show on ESPN, and she's really good at her job. So good at her job that she has a show on ESPN that comes on every day. Yeah, The Jump.
Okay, but she's not going to lose her show because of this
No,
bullshit?
I don't think so.
Okay, well then...
They would be foolish if they took her show away.
I would still go with tough titties, but like as long as this didn't destroy her. This shouldn't be a career-destroying thing.
But
like,
also...
It's kind of a shitty thing
But
to
also
say,
consider this, right? Consider this. You'll have a ton of people who are going to be angry at something that they weren't initially angry at. If they lose things for the sake of a movement that they don't feel like they are a detriment to. And what I mean by that is you have so many like white people that are pissed off right now because they're like, bro, I'm not a fucking racist. I didn't do anything to anybody. I'm poor and I live in West Virginia. What the fuck? Why should I have to pay additional taxes for reparations? Why should I have to not get this job because y'all don't have enough black people on the staff? So on and so forth. And while I, as a black person, might say, shut your white ass up, I also understand why they feel that way. Because they might also be going through real ass hardships.
Yeah, they earned they actually...
And they might have earned their spot in the same way that I feel that I earned my spot.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just like a seniority thing that still plays into sort of supremacy kind
Maybe.
of vibes, but...
I think ultimately what we're seeing right now are the reverberations of a bunch of really, really racist laws that were front-facing until very recently. And now they're just not front-facing. You know? It's easy to lock up all the blacks if you, like, herded them into the same area through redlining and segregation, which just ended legally.
They're calling out how NBA and the NFL... like handle racial issues and things like that.
Yeah, but in addition to that, you have...
Well, I'm just talking for companies, too. It's not just, like, laws. It's, like...
Totally.
They're basically saying... Like we were talking, like, Chronicle getting shouted out or for not having Tita and anybody. They basically were called racist, and they basically then had the...
Right after.
You said that. Yeah, you said that.
Right after.
I'm just saying, like, right after, basically. No, but it makes shit happen. We were like, why is this being underrepresented in the city? It is a total movement. You're not representing it. Is it because you're racist? And shit happens.
Right.
So there's something to be said for like, okay, maybe it's being pressure because of this, but it doesn't make it wrong that it's there now. That it's if it wasn't as like, I guess people get pissed off when it's like, I went up the ladder this way, I did it this whole way, and then somebody jumps the line. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I thought I earned my spot. It's like if. It's like all of a sudden it's like Hillary Clinton, and then all of a sudden boom, it was Kamala Harris. It's like, what the fuck? You only here for
you just got here.
Only locking up people for this long.
Yeah,
I've been
true.
locking up since the 90s.
That's true.
That's true. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm not new to this.
I'm not new to locking up people.
True to this.
People for drugs. Man, you've only been okay. Sorry.
But really consider it for a second, right? Rachel Nichols might be looking at it from the standpoint of, I'm a woman who came up in sports media in the fucking 90s. I went to school for this. I have busted my ass as every type of sports reporter doing all of the shit jobs to get to this point. And you're going to take this away from me because y'all are racist? Not because I'm racist, but because someone called y'all out for being racist. Y'all are taking my shit?
And then I'll take this into consideration. She wasn't trying to. She was trying to be private, bro. Like
she was.
I take that in consideration. It's not like she's publicly trying to do that. So
I mean,
like,
though it is not the same comparison. Donald Sterling was also having a private conversation
but Donald
in his home.
Sterling is out of pocket, bro.
He was out of pocket.
So what about this though? What about this though? Is that she might be pissed off that she had to do all these hoops, all these things that are probably honestly way too much compared to what her male counterparts had to do. So the fact that the next generation comes up a little faster than you, that should be almost celebrated to a certain extent. Is that it shouldn't have to be this fucking hard. If you have to do you have to take 10 years or whatever it is to get to your point, but then some other asshole is able to do it in one because of who they knew or what they
But then you hate.
But then somebody else comes in real quick. It's like, well, she's still it doesn't have to be, I don't know.
I hear you.
There should be something
it's hard
about that. Because it shouldn't have been as hard for her as all that.
It should not have been.
Right?
It should not have been. And
So
that
then-
is basically the other side of the argument
You
where
should
I'm
see
saying
it as progress. As
Yeah,
progress.
I mean, I think it's a little short-sighted to say just because you didn't have to get
No, I hear you.
Beat up. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, she didn't get beat up. It's like, well, fuck, you shouldn't have either.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I agree. But at the same time, Maria, can you look up her name? Maria, I think it starts with a T. The person she was talking about, I think her first name was Maria. Just search the page for the word Maria.
Oh, y'all could have just asked me to do
right?
I can't.
So, but the flip side of that is that if you're a woman who is also black, you probably also had this entire litany of obstacles that perhaps Rachel Nichols did not have to experience because ESPN doesn't really have any black people there until relatively recently, when they started getting called out for not having a diverse group of on-air personalities and behind-the-scenes personalities. So they started making those hires. And
I see. I don't know anything about her. How long?
Yeah, it's basically.
I have no you know what I mean. I'm just assuming what her reference was that she came too quick or something.
Oh, she was talking about Maria Taylor, another host.
What were you saying?
Yes,
No, I was just saying I was telling you and DDot it's basically off of which perspective you pick, because they both could. It's basically perspective,
valid,
bro. They're both valid. It's just
they are both valid.
The girl who's coming up see that as mad disrespectful,
Yeah.
And then the Rachel Nichols just see that as I don't have nothing to do with this stuff. I worked hard to get here, and I don't need my position taken away because of what the company
Because of y'all,
yeah.
You before.
Yeah,
So,
basically.
I don't know how long she had been in though. I guess I'm wondering was she on a lower rung and then all of a sudden shot right up, or is she kind of new?
She earned her spot. And
No,
I don't think Rachel Nichols said anywhere in this
she didn't,
this entire
but
thing
it was really
that
calling out.
she hadn't
It's
earned
kind
her
of more
spot.
shit talking ESPN or
I agree.
I think it was more that than being they're these fucking assholes. It was not. It's I get
And being pissed that you were losing your
it wasn't
thing.
like she was subpar. Yeah.
So she kind of butthurt. That's what it is.
Whoa,
kind of.
She's kind of
I
butthurt.
fucking bet.
And
Yeah.
wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
I might be too. Really. Let's consider this for a moment, right? You're really good at your job. You got a certain position. Now you get to speak to all the best people in your field in this really unique circumstance, and you've earned this spot, right? And then you learn that there's too many dudes and we're getting heat for being sexist, so we're going to give your job to a woman. we're not firing you, but this thing that you've been looking forward to. No, Ron Burgundy sucked.
No, but he got his job split with the girl in the second season.
But he was bad.
Yeah,
like he was horrible. He was bad.
Or the first, I
forget. But that's the thing. That's the biggest thing. Maria Taylor is really good at her job.
I'm sorry, but
No, I understand what you're saying.
Funny, bro.
Maria Taylor is really good at her job. So is Rachel Nichols. Rachel Nichols had the job, and Maria Taylor is like coming up. Rachel Nichols has been around.
She's like the Padawan, and Rachel Nichols is the Jedi.
Maybe Ahsoka Tano or some shit. You feel?
Hey, I ain't that deep of a nerd, bro. He said Ahsoka Tano.
I'm so
I don't
insulted.
know what the hell that is, bro. Okay.
Clone Wars, bro.
Oh, okay.
Clone
Never
Wars.
mind.
Anyway.
Damn, D-Dot.
Come on, man. Come on.
Clone Wars?
Clone
God
Wars, bro.
damn.
Clone Wars.
I wasn't built for this.
all right.
He said Ahsoka Tano.
All right. We're gonna take a break and then we'll come back and get into some deportes.
This man said Ahsoka Tano. I thought he was
Ahsoka
talking about a
Tano,
musical
bro.
instrument.
Yeah, let's listen to some songs real quick.